you're all there to help and support each other, but you really hesitate opening up in your group program or your mastermind because like you don't want others to judge you. You don't want people to think something about you. This is the double standard. And there are these really sneaky ways that it comes through.
Welcome to Did I Stutter with Jill Perick. And yeah, I probably did because I have a stuttering disability. But I'm also a multiple six-figure business and mindset coach who's here to help you shut down the mindfuckery of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and playing the nice girl in your content so you and your brand can blow the fuck up and so you can stack the motherfucking cash. I'm holding absolutely nothing back. We're talking marketing, messaging, mindset, subconscious healing, nervous system regulation, and how to do it all even with raging anxiety, ADHD, and just being a fucking human. If fuck is one of your favorite words and nothing can get in between you, your iced coffee, or the work that you're here to do, I'm your girl. Let's dive in.
Hello, my loves. I'm sitting here with my little Ruby girl and it's raining outside and I thought I would drop in and drop this little message to you, this little reminder that your silly little antidotes, whatever that fucking word is, the stories that you have to tell, the things that you feel shame about, the things that you think, ugh, like nobody has been through this or I can't talk about it, may be the very reason why someone hires you. Because you think the story isn't relevant, who's going to relate to this? All this does is expose me or like make me look like a fraud or make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. When again, that could be the very reason why somebody hires you. And I want to tell you a story about two stories. One of the stories is my settlement that I did. And I talked about this in an audio last week, I believe, or at the beginning of this week, how I saw a coach do a reel where she was talking about financial shame and she was saying that she did a settlement for her debt. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was an option, right? So I was able to get a settlement and do that. And it relieved so much financial burden on me. And that settlement is now almost paid off completely. And I remember seeing it and like, thank God that coach was open and honest about her experience. That really changed a lot of things for me. And I ended up like purchasing from her and working with her because I trusted her, right? And then I signed a 10K client after I talked about my story driving for Uber Eats. I signed a $10,000 client because I talked about my experience with Uber Eats and how I drove Uber Eats for 1 month because I had business expenses up the wazoo and I couldn't pay everything I needed to pay. And I saw like, okay, I'm gonna need to supplement this. And I had to supplement with something like Uber Eats. And this was very difficult for me. As somebody who used to work for the government, I had a really good job. It just felt defeating to get in my car and have to drive to a town over so I didn't run into anybody that I knew and having to drive around and deliver food. And when I told that story, I still had a little bit of like residual shame about it. But for the most part, I had my peace with it. I felt good about it. And I was like, you know what? This just shows how fucking committed I am and how I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I know the right people are going to align. And I signed a 10K client from talking about that story. She specifically referenced, and I've had clients reference that lots of times before when they have started working with me. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I'm doing a program called Double Standard we start Monday, July 13th. And it's all about the little invisible double standards or the invisible rules that you are abiding by, that you don't even realize you are abiding by, and it is costing you money. And not being vulnerable, open, honest, authentic, not telling these stories is a double standard because I know you purchase from people that do. I know that you are obsessed with the people who are so fucking real and so fucking honest and so fucking authentic. You're drawn to it. And psychologically speaking, it makes sense, right? Because it creates this parasocial relationship. And in your brain, when somebody tells a story that is exposing for them, that shows their real heart, that is vulnerable, that's honest, you feel closer to them. You feel closer to them. You feel like you know them, and it actually speeds up the know, like, and trust factor. So that really speeds up, which then leads to you wanting to buy from them. When you have a problem that needs to be solved, you think about them because you feel like you know them. It feels familiar. It feels like I can trust this person. So it's like an exchange of vulnerability. Obviously, the person who is talking about the vulnerable stories like isn't using it in like a manipulative way, but like you feel that. You feel that through them telling their story. And yet you have so many hangups around sharing yours. You have so many hangups around being honest and being transparent about the things that you've been through or experienced, when actually that is the reason why somebody would hire you. And you don't even realize you're operating by this standard of, I am obsessed and attracted to the people who are honest and forthcoming and who say the fucking thing, but I really struggle to do the same. Without even realizing the amount of people, the amount of 4-figure and 5-figure clients that you would sign if you truly said, fuck it, I am going to be as transparent as possible, as honest as possible, as authentic as possible. I am going to have no inhibitions about sharing the stories that I have to share. And if you truly did that, you would see so much success on the other side. This is the double standard. This is the invisible rule that you're following because you tell yourself that would be embarrassing. They would think I'm a fraud, right? Like I really hesitated around sharing the story around Uber Eats because I was like, people are going to be like, oh, she doesn't make any money. Who does she think she is? I thought she was successful, blah, 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 all this fucking bullshit. And I held off on telling that story for a long time. But if I would have told it sooner, I would have made that 10K sooner. I have probably missed out on a whole chunk of change if I was just more courageous earlier. If I wasn't abiding by this fucking double standard. Right? Because I saw a coach again talk about doing a debt settlement, and instead of being like, that's so embarrassing, blah, 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 I was like, that is so inspiring. I'm going to go look into this. Thank God she uploaded that reel and I didn't think anything about her qualifications or certificate. If anything, it shows that you have experience. If anything, it shows that there is more range than just the surface level that you see on somebody's social media. This is the double standard that is costing you. And there's tons of these that are leaking throughout your entire business when it comes to what you decide to charge for your services, your client experiences, the standards and the boundaries that you hold inside of your containers. How you even allow yourself to receive coaching, right? Whenever you hear somebody in the chat, like talking about something that's like vulnerable and raw, like you don't think anything of them. You're all there to help and support each other, but you really hesitate opening up in your group program or your mastermind because like you don't want others to judge you. You don't want people to think something about you. This is the double standard. And there are these really sneaky ways that it comes through. And this is what we are going to be opening up and demolishing inside of double standard. We are going to be talking about all the ways that these double standards are showing up in your life and in your business and how to demolish them for good in your head so they don't actually hold you back from making the money that you're supposed to be making, because you could be making so much more if you stopped abiding by these invisible rules, by these standards. And the thing is, these standards can be forgiving. So you're more forgiving for someone else, right? With the example of the content, like these are people that also have lives and financial issues and all that shit, and you don't think anything of it. You are more forgiving. But when it's yourself, you're more hard on yourself. You're like, that would be embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. So that's an example of how the double standard can be affecting you. But then on the other side of things, when it comes to like, let's say, for example, a client example, where if a client came to you and was like, oh, like somebody asked if I would like reduce the rate for this offer, so I did, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You would hold them to a higher standard. But when it's you and somebody slides into your DMs and they're trying to like negotiate with you and blah, 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 you end up doing it. And you don't hold yourself to the same standard that you would with your clients. So we are figuring out why you're doing this, what the actual leaks are, and we are plugging them all the fuck up so you can make more money. And this is happening in a couple of weeks on July 13th. But as soon as you join the Telegram group, you can join for just $22, and as soon as you join the group, you will get access to the graphic to share on your Instagram story. And when you share that graphic and you tag me, you will get immediate access to a extra call that we are doing that week. And I dropped a 24-minute podcast episode for you to listen to that is all about the double standards that are currently happening in your messaging and how you can fix them now and sign clients right fucking now. And then the actual event again is going to start on Monday, July 13th. And I am so excited because it's going to be fucking epic. So join down below. I love you. And I hope you have a great Thursday night.